Have you ever seen another music producer who just seems to be crushing it all the time? They get great clients, earn higher production fees, they're busy all the time, their popularity is growing, but you just can't figure out why that is. Because on the surface, it would appear that both of you should at least be equals, or maybe you feel like you should even be a little farther along than them based on your skills and experience. In this video, I'm going to help you figure out why that is, why some producers are earning really great money in their career while other ones just can't, despite being talented producers. I've been a personal business advisor to over 600 working music producers now, ranging from small bedroom studios to Grammy-winning talent with billions of streams in their catalog. This affects all of them at every level. They all ask this question: why is that producer making this and I'm not? And I have to let you in on a little secret. I've never had a case where a producer earned more income than their equal counterparts due to just one single reason. It's always a combination of reasons, and we call these reasons value levers. So before you go on and blame other people's budgets or your location or the industry or social media, let's first take a look at you. I'm going to show you the 10 value levers that I've seen hundreds of music producers use to increase their value in the market, leading to more work, higher rates, and better opportunities, despite what level they're at. And at the end of this video, I will tell you how many of these value levers you actually need in order to start seeing some positive results. Some of them might be obvious, but some of them will surprise you. I highly recommend that you rate yourself from a 1 to 5 for each of these as I go through them, and just make a mental note. That will give you clarity on what you should focus on improving later. Value lever number 1 is communication. Are you just asking an artist over email or text what they want and what their budget is? Do you avoid talking about money at all until the end and then it gets awkward? A lot of producers, especially those with a reputation, think that they can ride on that reputation and not put much effort into their communication process for acquiring new projects. Yet on the flip side, I see producers who are newer to the game landing $3,000 to $10,000 projects all day because they are simply better at communicating what they do. I recommend not just winging it when it comes to communication. Instead, try having a structure that you follow every time, from setting the tone of the call up front, setting the agenda, to uncovering what it is they need for this project and how that plays into their bigger vision as an artist, getting clear on what obstacles they're running into, what's really going on, and finally, have a way for yourself to easily present how you will approach this for them so that when you tell them your rates, your fee structure, it will at least make sense why you charge what you charge. It sounds like a lot, but it's worth taking a look at how are you really communicating with people. I've found this one to be one of the most impactful value levers, even if you already have a lot of experience as a working music producer. Value lever number 2 is similar but slightly different. It's your ability to transfer belief. It's easy for producers to think that if an artist doesn't want to pay them, then it means that the artist doesn't believe the producer is worth it. However, that's not always true. In order for the artist to feel comfortable investing money into themselves and their projects, they first have to believe in themselves or believe that they can even pull this career off. Producers that have the ability to transfer their own belief in that artist's project to the artist will have an easier time landing projects and working with great people. But what if you don't believe in the artist or project yet? Do you lie to them? Of course you don't. In that case, you just adjust the expectations. What do you believe this artist can do at this moment in their career, big or small? Get them on board and excited about that. We all build careers in baby steps. Value lever number 3 is your sphere of influence. To put this simply, the more people that are aware that you exist, the more opportunities you will get, given that you're talented, of course. Every day I'm on Zoom meetings talking to producers who reach out to us. Many of them have a business already and are earning money producing songs, but almost all of them struggle to get more work and do it consistently. They need to be sending out more proposals. So I will ask them, in order to send out more proposals, what needs to happen first? And they'll say, well, I would need to meet more artists that want to work with me. I'm not going to send proposals to strangers. And I said, yep, okay. And then I'll ask them, well, how many new artists do you meet on a monthly basis? Ones that you haven't worked with before. And the answer is almost always shockingly low, like 10 or less on average. And it's just not enough. They're surprised to hear that on the very low end, our producers are meeting at least 100 new artists every month and building their sphere of influence, more people knowing they exist, which leads to more demand. Value lever number 4 is your reputation. Having years of experience, big credits, and lots of streams in your portfolio can absolutely make it easier to command higher fees and more consistent work. I'm sure that you get that. And this is the one value lever that every producer thinks will immediately solve all of their problems. If I just had credits, if I just had this, everything would change. But our data doesn't show that, interestingly enough. I'm one of the few business advisors out there that has worked directly with dozens and dozens of highly decorated music producers. And it may surprise you to learn that the majority of them, not the minority, the majority still struggle with landing consistent work at rates they feel like they deserve. Value lever number 4 is important, and you should always be striving to grow your reputation. But if this one value lever solved all of your problems, then there wouldn't be 10 value levers. There would only be one, but there isn't. There are 10 of them. So let's keep going. The next one has become a bit more popular over the last few years. Value lever number 5 is tangible value. Are there other things you can offer that provide tangible value to the artist or companies that you produce music for? It's just something to think about. It's an exercise. Maybe you have a background or experience in something that goes beyond just producing songs. I'm not saying you have to stack up a bunch of random extra services, but it's worth taking a look at all of the different ways that you potentially could bring more tangible value to the people that you work with. I've advised producers that took this particular value lever to the extreme and have built full-blown, full-service artist development companies that generate 6 figures per month in revenue, not year, per month. So you never know. And if you know you don't want to offer any additional services yourself, then there are still ways that you can add tangible value. I'll explain that later in value lever number 7. But first, value lever number 6, which is connection. Not your connections, but your ability to connect with people. How good are you at understanding the needs of other people? Can you be vulnerable yourself? Have difficult and real conversations? I work with some producers that land incredible clients and are paid very well, not because they have credits and accolades. They don't. Not because they're the cheapest option out there, because they aren't. They just have the ability to connect and resonate with those they serve. It usually starts with what their website or social media profiles say, then it's displayed in the content they put out, and then it fully develops when they finally have those one-to-one conversations with the artists. For producers that just sit in a room by themselves all day and make music, despite that maybe being comfortable and convenient, it can lead to a huge disadvantage because connecting with people is best developed through the practice of actually doing it. And by the way, if you want deeper help developing any of the value levers in this video, whether you're just launching your production business or you're an industry veteran, use the link below to see how we do that on an individual basis, and then reach out to us if you'd like. Happy to take a look at where some of the gaps are in your process. So this next value lever is simple yet powerful. Value lever number 7 is access. This just refers to potential clients or collaborators wanting access to people, places, or resources that you have access to, or just to be in your circle or network. This can just be the icing on the cake sometimes. For example, years ago, I ran a large music production team that did over $1 million worth of projects. So we had a ton of work that we needed to farm out to mixing engineers. And I had plenty of options for affordable and talented mixers. But the one that we sent the most work to was someone that we genuinely wanted to be friends with and get into some of the circles that he was a part of. We were new to town and he knew everybody. That was the icing on the cake for us. He also had a lot of great credits, which increased our perceived value as a music production company. So ask yourself, are there any people, places, or resources that you have that potential clients would find it valuable to have access to? And then make sure they know about those things. Value lever number 8 is ideal sound fit. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one, but it deserves a spot here because many of our producers have reported this as the primary reason they landed a big opportunity. Sometimes the sound you have combined with your level of taste just fit 100% perfectly what the artist or company is looking for, and they will hire you and pay you well because they have struggled to find someone that does the exact thing that they're looking for. I see this happen all of the time. Value lever 9 is perception, which boils down to your branding, really, and your positioning. Like it or not, we use our eyes first. If someone looks the part and seems to have it together, then as humans, we subconsciously deem them to be more valuable at what they do. Great branding provides your ideal market with clarity and certainty because it shows a strong commitment to your craft. If you're an incredible producer but have no visual appeal, then unfortunately most people aren't going to ever know that you're an incredible producer because they aren't going to dig any deeper to find out. I've also worked with some incredible producers who have top 1% achievements, but if you just looked at them, then you would never know. There was no evidence of those achievements, or very little. And you don't have to brag about your achievements, of course. I understand the desire to be humble, but to assume that everyone knows of your achievements and that they will speak for themselves can end up leaning more towards arrogance. And you might end up paying for that arrogance when it comes to your yearly income. So we've made it to number 10. And don't forget that afterwards, I'm going to tell you how many of these value levers you actually need to start seeing a positive result. Value lever number 10 is experience, but I don't mean your level of experience. I'm referring to what people experience if or when they work with you. The experience could be appealing to an artist because of the way it will make them feel, or maybe you have an incredible space that will elevate their creativity. At my production company, we would sometimes build an airfare for the client into the rate and fly them out to work with us. That experience made them feel an increase in status. Unfortunately, this value lever is one that is probably the most overlooked. A question I ask producers all the time is, why should an artist hire you specifically? And they will list out all of these great reasons, and most of them are usually based around the experience of working with them. But when I audit how they present themselves online or how they sell themselves, how they communicate, very rarely are they communicating that experience well. So the potential client wouldn't ever find out about this experience until after they have already hired the producer. You want to make that clear up front, because if they had known all of that when they were making the decision of whether or not to work with you, you may have found it easier to land the client in the first place, or at least at the rates that you wanted to charge. So now it's time for the big reveal. How many of these value levers do you actually need to start seeing positive results? Obviously, the goal here would be to develop all 10 of these value levers over time. And yes, some of them can be more impactful than others. But on average, we've found that if you have at least 3 of these value levers fully dialed in to the best they can be, then you'll see extremely positive results start to happen. For many of you, it could actually lead to complete transformation from where you're at now. So I hope that you rated yourself as we went through these. Happy to take a look at which ones you need the most help with. And if your goal is to make music production your career, not just now, but forever, then we have a framework for that too. So watch this next video to see how that works. Peace out.